Yellow, and welcome back to another episode of the Genlock series. As you figured out from the title, this episode has not one but two gym fights, without any major events between gyms 4 and 5. Might as well get down to business with Norman right after we defeat Flannery. But first things first, I leave Sue and Kensuchi at what will hopefully be their new home for the rest of Omega Ruby, because if something tragic happens, we need to have the backups leveled up and ready to go. And I think this guy is lost. He says he's trying to run a triathlon, but he's running back and forth like he doesn't know where to go. And I try to help him, but he, probably out of embarrassment, challenges me to a fight. That was his second mistake of the day, because he will also be losing this competition. But we'll take the XP. That plus a few other trainers here on Route 117 leads to Taya turning into a Swallow. After helping the triathlon runner, I went over to Rushturf Tunnel and helped some more people by clearing a path between a couple of lovebirds so they could reunite. Then I attempted to help someone find their glasses. Apparently I found the wrong pair, and he decided he'd just order a new pair when he got home. I'm sure he made it home safely. Probably. And that was my last good deed of the day, because I stumbled across a reporter who was quizzing trainers on what is the heaviest Pokemon in the Hoenn region. So I told her. There was a lot of ground to cover between Mauville City and Fall Arbor Town, with lots of trainers blocking the way. And I was using a rotation of party members to prevent over-leveling. But there was no need for a Poke Center, because there was a lot of healing spots. I think May heals our party twice. And then there was this creepy old lady who insisted we keep resting, and she gets offended when we want to leave. Yeah, I'm not coming back here again. No noteworthy fights took place, but I did get a couple new encounters. Route 112 gave us Killer Bee, and Fiery Path gives us Cammy. So on Route 114, I find this house that has a cave in the side of it. And then this younger brother gives me TM Dig. So I go in to see what the older one's doing. He asks me if I want a fossil, and then this bozo says, too bad, all mine. I like the other brother better. Oh, don't worry though. I quickly get my revenge. May does the unthinkable and walks right by this rare bone. Then I go back to the older brother and ask him if he wants a rare bone just before I sell it at the mart. And on the way there I get an unexpected Swablu encounter. I'll take it. So while I'm in town, I put it in my party. Following May into Meteor Falls, we see that she's chasing Team Magma too. I'm not really sure how she got tangled up with them, but it matters not. I'm already planning on annihilating them anyways, so when she asks me if I want to help, that is an easy yes. These bozos, as May called them, are light work for Trigger, especially after we make it a 2v1 by taking out the coffin first. Numa also falls at the hands of our tag team SmackDown, resulting in yet another embarrassing loss for Team Magma by the hands of a 10-year-old. But, like any good monologuing villain does, Team Magma does have the decency to tell us where they're going to next before they head off. Apparently this is an episode of Red vs. Blue, which I guess would make this guy Church. Anyways, he knows he's no match for a 10-year-old wearing plot armor, so him, Tex, and Caboose take off running. Regrouping back at the professor's house, he tells us just how grateful he is for the front row seats to the tag team event, and he gives us a very appropriate TM. May escorts us to Mauville City to save us some much needed time, as it is now a race between us and Team Blue to see who can destroy Team Red first. No time for dilly-dallying, so we take off to Mount Chimney as fast as we can. All things considered, that was very relaxing. Now, back to business. If there's one thing that all these villains have in common, is that they love Poochyena. Well, in all fairness, I love my Poochyena too. Maybe I should consider joining. No. I've already committed to crushing their dreams. But maybe I could start my own organization. Team Yellow, perhaps? I'll have to think about it later. Up next, Admin Tabitha. He thinks the reason why he lost last time is because it was a tag team smackdown. So he challenges me for the title, mano a mano, and gets sent back to the rookie leagues where he belongs. Now, we finally catch up to Team Red leader Sarge, aka Maxie. He acts like he barely remembers me, so let's see if I can give him a reason to remember me next time. He leads with Mighty Anna. Shocker. He does have Intimidate, but Trigger doesn't need it to outperform his counterpart. The foe's Mighty Anna is outpaced, and he forces Trigger out of battle with a roar. But we don't skip a beat, as Slack Queen is an absolute force to be reckoned with. But that's something that the rest of his team's going to have to find out the hard way. Camrop's no exception, but due to its bulkiness, I put it to sleep first. Two-thirds of the way in, and Team Red's mighty leader has failed to do hardly anything. Slack Queen hasn't even taken damage yet. Golbat hardly breaks that trend as it hits for minimal damage before going down quickly. So we get some revenge as Killer Bee learns revenge. No close calls this time as Sarge got absolutely land-basted. Get it? Land-basted? Anyways, Church shows up right on cue and acts like Sarge didn't just take the one way off the mountain and go right by him before fleeing as well. So I go on my merry way through Jagged Pass and catch a point that I name after the one and only T.I. Double Gut Earth. Well, I guess he's not the only one now. But speaking of unusual pronunciation, I received the TM So Ward's dance. You didn't know you've been saying that one wrong, did you? Time to hit the J-M and get batch number 4. This time I actively avoid most of the trainers in the gym. Most of them. I had 2 different teams, one for actually fighting Flannery and one for clearing the gym on the way to her, just to avoid hitting the level cap before I get to her. So once I successfully clear a path to her, I go back, heal up, and put in the team members that are going to be used in the actual gym battle. Without much bloodshed, we make it to Flannery, who just has a way with words. If you're watching this, then there's a good chance that you already know what Flannery's game plan is, but in case you don't, her objective is to set up Sunny Day to boost her fire types, especially her defensive tank Torkoal, who really shines under sunny skies when it unleashes a supercharged overheat. My counter is a simple sweeping strategy. Semtex will do damage and boost its special attack with Charge Beam, while stalling out Sunny Day and taking less damage with Eerie Pulse. Slugma goes the extra mile to compound their high defenses and sets up a light screen to try to play around my strategy, which is fine. We can stall that out too. And we also use a potion just to avoid any crits. one last potion to stall out Sunny Day, and then Semtex is off to the races. This was going to be by far one of the easiest gym badges. Except I forgot one small detail. See, I was so focused on Torkoal that I didn't look close enough at the rest of her team. Because if I did, I might have noticed that Numel the Fire Camel is in fact also a ground type. In the heat of battle, I realized what a dum-dum I really am. Semtex had successfully charged beam so many enemies in such a short time, and now he falls at the hands of my ignorance. As my dad always says, stupidity is painful, expensive, and sometimes deadly. After a moment of silence, the battle must go on. So in comes Plan B, Slackwing. Slackwing unleashes a revenge-fueled slash to grant Numel a swift death. This also prevents Numel from setting up with Sunny Day and forces Torkoal to waste a turn on the setup when it comes out. The backup strategy is to let Slackwing stall out Sunny Day by putting Torkoal to sleep with Yawn, healing herself with Slack off as needed, and just keep chipping away at Torkoal with Slash when not using one of those other moves. The longer this battle goes on, the more of an advantage we have, because Torkoal's overheat keeps making it weaker and weaker, so we just play the slow grind game for the win. And it also helps that Torkoal was extremely tired and sleeps for 5 turns. Man, I should have led with this strategy to begin with. Then we still have Semtex. I just hate that he didn't get to go out with a bang. I mean, that's like what he's meant to do. The silver lining here is that Slackwing can more than pull her weight. I wasn't really planning on keeping her in the lineup this long, but she just keeps on crushing it. At this rate, I'm even contemplating having her in the final 6. Y'all let me know what you think. Badge number 4 is in the books. Just came at a heavy price. Get a little too confident in Nuzlocke, it'll happen. Our eyes are still watery as we go out the door and run into May. She thinks we got some debris in our eyes, so she gives us some goggles. After that, it's a quick trip back to Petalburg so we can take on our old man for gym badge number 5. The level cap after Flannery jumps from 28 to 30. And it isn't much, but to be as prepared as possible, I try to get as close to that as I can. Every gym trainer battle was pretty similar. Swallow sweep. Taya annihilated everybody and everything in the gym. I went to every door in every room and tried to fight every trainer. Well, all of them except for one. No idea what's behind that door, but definitely in a Nuzlocke I am not fixing to find out. I think Norman gets a bad rap as a deadbeat dad, despite the fact that he's one of the top 4 gym leaders. And he only lives a couple routes away, so it's really not even that far. Besides, his 10-year-old kid has currently beaten half the region, so he must be doing something right. This fight with Norman felt like it had less room for error than the fight with Flannery did, so I tried to be twice as cautious this go around. I even remembered to give Brissinger a Chesto Berry before the battle. I really wanted to use Slackwing in a pupil defeats the sensei kind of way, but it didn't feel like the safe play. Besides, Brissinger's been needing to stretch his legs some anyways. I do use Flame Charge a couple times to boost Brissinger's speed, but I'm being very intentional about what turns I do it, so that way if I do it on the Truant turns, there's no harm, but if I do it on a turn when Slacking chooses to retaliate, that damage would be absolutely destructive. So we spend most of the turns just using Bulk Up A to build our defenses, but B to get to the point where we can one-shot the rest of Norman's lineup. I probably go a little overkill with the Bulk Ups, but I don't want to take any chances. So with stat boost this high and stab type advantage, Brissinger should be able to get the clean sweep. Just to make double, triple extra sure, I even do another flame charge just to make sure that Norman's Vigoroth and second Slack King don't outspeed. It's all over but the crying now for Norman. Brissinger is way too strong to be stopped at this point, so all he can do is watch helplessly as Brissinger shreds the rest of his team apart. Booyah, baby. 5 down, 3 to go. And a new level cap of 35, which is going to give us some much needed breathing room because there is a lot of ground and water to cover between here and Four Tree City. I don't have a dedicated plan for how to handle the gym at Four Tree City just yet, so I may double back on some routes and go ahead and get some encounters that I'm missing. Thankfully, Wally's going to escort us closer to where we need to be by taking us to Mauville. But that's all for this episode. Thank y'all for watching. Till next time, see you.